In today's tabletop review, we're going to be taking a look at a new flashlight offering made by the Olight Flashlight Corporation. This flashlight carries the model number M2T Warrior and has a retail of $69.99. This was just recently introduced at the 2018 SHOT Show, and I knew about it beforehand, but it took me a little while before I could finally get my hands on one to bring to you and talk about. The packaging, you'll notice right off the bat, is different from standard Olight packaging. If you've watched any of my previous videos or you've purchased an Olight flashlight in the past, you'll probably be accustomed to the typical black packaging here. This one is all white. It also has a sort of like a pull tab at the top where you have to rip it to open the box. You can't open the box without doing that. So if you're looking at one of these and the pull tab's been pulled, that means that someone's taken it out of the box for whatever reason. Not that the packaging makes that big of a deal when it comes to selling a particular product, but I do like to see professional packaging, and Olight has always had excellent packaging for their products. The M2T Warrior, that's a tongue twister, has their typical 5-year warranty. I'll talk about that. The back of the box has some specs and some features, some run times, and I'll talk about that later. And talks about the content. So obviously I've already opened this, so let's go ahead and take this out and take a look at the contents. All right. So in typical Olight fashion, the inside packaging is protectant, provides enough protection for the contents. There's a little pull tab right here that says accessories are underneath. So you've got a two-part plastic coffin, so to speak, where we have the carry case and a read before use that talks about how to turn on the flashlight, and of course the user manual. The user manual is available online, and it is also available in multiple different languages. And that's basically everything that's included in this. Unlike some of the other rechargeable flashlights, there's no charging cable. The batteries are pre-installed. The carry case is a typical Olight type of carrying case where you've got this type of Velcro closure which you could attach to MOLLE. You could run it through a belt. You could use a carbiner and clip it on to a pack. So we can go ahead and stick this in to test it. Actually, inside is a lanyard. We'll take a look at that also. Typical high quality Olight lanyard. Put the flashlight in. You can see the flashlight fits in this carry case just fine. So good to go with the carry case. The lanyard that this ships with, again, I've mentioned this in several other Olight videos. This is a really nice lanyard if you are inclined to using lanyards. You can put this on your wrist, and there's this little push button adjustment to cinch it down on your wrist so it doesn't slide off. It has the typical nylon loop right here that you would loop through right down here on the end cap. And normally, I'll mention this again in case this is the first time you've watched one of these videos, taking this little nylon piece of material and sticking it through the little hole can be problematic. It's sort of like threading a needle. You've got to kind of get it wet and kind of twist it and dink with it, and hopefully you get it through the little eyelet. Now what Olight's done is they've added this little piece of metal right here that you can see. It's not particularly sharp, but I mean you probably could puncture your skin if you were so inclined. See how easy that slides through? It slides right through, and then you grab it and you can pull the lanyard through. This is a really innovative addition to this lanyard to make the installation simple. After you pull it through and you know, loop the lanyard, this little piece of metal is removable. So you can just slide it off, and you can either throw it away, or you can keep it, you know, throw it back in the packaging and save it if you ever need it again in the future. So very nice lanyard design, and nice attention to detail with that. So that's pretty much everything that's included with this particular flashlight. The quick start guide just basically talks about the tail switch operation, and then they talk about if you're going to store the flashlight for a long period of time to untwist it by a half turn, which breaks the connection between the cap and the battery, so the batteries don't accidentally drain or you don't accidentally turn it on. And that's it. So right off the bat, what are we looking at here with this M2T Warrior? You've got your rear tail cap switch. You have a side mounted switch, black anodized 6000 series aluminum finish, the blue bezel, the orange peel reflector, the single Cree LED. I believe it's a Cree LED. I'll read off more of the specs a little later. It is a fairly thin, or not a thin, the diameter is rather small, probably around a ½ inch or so. The flashlight comes with Olight's innovative clip mechanism here. Now this clip can be installed in this location here, or it can be installed here if you wanted to flip it around. What's really nice about this clip, I've mentioned it in other videos, is you can slide something on like this, or you can slide something this way. So this makes it real convenient if you're using this in the engine bay of a car. You need to clip it on to the hood liner or something else in the car. You're going to clip it onto a hat. The dual function clip is a great design. A lot of flashlights that have just a one-way clip, if you want to clip it onto something, in other words, like going this direction, you have to pull this clip off and rotate it around and snap it back on the flashlight. So you can still do that with this flashlight. There are two spots here. You can pull this off and flip it around, but you don't really need to do that to get multi-directional functionality out of this clip. I would assume if you were to carry this in your pocket, you might want to remove the clip and put the clip over here so you can carry this bezel down in your pocket with the switch kind of sticking out of your pocket, or in a pouch on a backpack. So you've got a little bit of flexibility. Probably carrying it like this, sliding it in your pocket, is not a good idea, because you probably push the button and turn the light on. So anyway, typical with Olight, high quality finish across the board, multi-functional clip design, nice bezel, and reflector assembly. This particular one, as you can see, is a bright white, so you're looking at probably 5,000–6,000 Kelvin. We'll also talk about the lumens output here in a moment. I always have to refer to the actual user guide for that, because there's a lot of different modes on these flashlights. If we remove the tail cap, moving forward, if we remove the tail cap, you can see the inner design on this. The main sell point with this particular flashlight is this multifunctional tail cap switch. And you can see we've got a battery insert. This ships with two CR123A batteries. They are 3-volt, 1600 milliamp lithium ion Olight batteries, or lithium batteries, probably not lithium ion. And there's two of them in this adapter. These are not rechargeable batteries. You can use rechargeable CR123 batteries. Those would be purchased, have to be purchased separate. And of course you'd have to get a charger if you didn't already have one. You can also run this light with a single 18650 battery, which is also not included. The light output of this M2T Warrior varies depending upon if you're using the CR123 batteries or the 18650 batteries. So do keep that in mind. This is not a rechargeable flashlight per se, but you can use rechargeable batteries. You would, when you did run down the batteries, you would have to remove them and put them in a charger to charge them up. There is no facility built into this flashlight to charge the batteries while they're installed in the light. Okay, so let me clear out some of this stuff, and we'll talk about some of the specs. Okay, so one of the new features with the M2T Warrior that Olight advertises is the access via the tail cap switch to momentary on, a standard on-off, and strobe, all through pressing the switch with different pressures. So if we press it lightly and let go, we have our momentary on functionality. If we press it a little bit harder and let go, we have your on-off. And you do get, you may not be able to hear it, but you do get a little bit of a click to let you know that it engages in the on-off mode. So if we press it really hard and hold it, we get strobe, and strobe is momentary. It takes a little bit of practice to figure out how much pressure you need to put on the switch to get the on-off and to get the strobe. I found for one-handed operation, momentary as well as on-off is fairly easy. Strobe, you got to really push down on the button to get the strobe. So that's just what I found. The side-mounted switch, which is typical for most Olight flashlights, this will automatically cycle through 5 different modes, including an LED lockout low battery indicator. So if we press and hold the side button, you can see it cycling through the different modes. And if we release the button, it will retain that mode. And if we turn it off and turn it back on, it remembers that mode, so it has a memory function. If we press the tail cap, we go into our turbo mode. Also notable about the tail cap is the light mode on the tail cap is the turbo mode. On some of the other flashlights, the tail cap button didn't activate the turbo mode. You had to turn the flashlight on and then press the side button in a certain sequence to get into turbo mode. But now you have one touch, one press access to the turbo mode. So that's really a nice feature here. Let's see, let's move on. So we talked about the tail light switch, and the Olight also says that the strobe frequency is 13 cycles per second versus 10 cycles per second in previous models. So I'll have to take their advice on that one. I don't know the benefits of 10 cycles versus 13 cycles, but it's there. The general data for this particular flashlight, they give a beam distance in feet of 640 or 195 meters. The maximum lumen output is listed as 1200. The light intensity, the candela, is 9500. The light form is a standard hotspot diameter. And the lens reflector is listed as an orange pill reflector. I believe I mentioned that. They refer to this as a medium-size form factor, which it would be equivalent to, say, a large permanent marker. That's what they say. And let's see. Okay, so those are my first page of talking notes. Let's move on to the second page, just so I get everything covered for you. Okay, so I wanted to, excuse me for my momentary pause, I wanted to get to the section where we talked about the output rating and the runtime with the batteries, because they are different. if you run this with two CR123A batteries, the lumen, okay, I'm trying to decipher their Olight's information here. Two CR123A batteries in turbo mode is 900 lumens. That'll run for 3 minutes before the thermal circuitry kicks in and drops the lumen output to 600, and that will run for 85 minutes. The high output mode with two CR123A batteries is listed as 400 lumens, and that was the mode that was accessible via the side switch right here. That would be 400 lumens. That will run for 3 hours. The medium mode accessible via the side switch is 60 lumens. The runtime is 14 hours. The low is 15 lumens. Runtime is 42 hours. And the moonlight mode is 1 lumen, and that will run for 30 days. Now, those are the specs for using the included the included two CR123A batteries. If you choose to put a 3500 milliamp 18650 battery in this flashlight, the specs will be as follows. Turbo mode, that's the mode accessible via the tail cap switch, is 1200 lumens with a runtime of 3 minutes, and then it will kick down to 600 lumens with a runtime of 130 minutes. High mode is 600 lumens with a runtime of 2 hours 20 minutes. Medium 1 mode is 250 lumens, 6 hours and 15 minutes. Medium 2 mode, 60 lumens, 20 hours. Low, 15 lumens, 7 hours, and moon, 1 lumen. The output will change along with the battery voltage. As the voltage goes down, the top output will go down as well, which I'm sure that you're all aware of, that as a battery drains, the light will dim accordingly. Now, the caveat to using a 18650 battery is that it needs to have a discharge current over 5 amps. And Olight recommends their high discharge 18650 battery 3500 milliamp. Now, I tried a couple of 18650 batteries that I have, and they would not power this light. They were ultrafire 18650 batteries, so those did not work. So they obviously did not meet the criteria for powering this particular light. So do keep that in mind, that your existing 18650 rechargeable batteries may not power this light, and you may need to pick up something that falls in line with what Olight recommends. So the technical specs of this, it is waterproof. It is IPX8 waterproof. The weight is 4.73 ounces. The length is 5.12 inches. The head diameter is 1 inch. The body diameter is 0.96 of an inch. The LED, which I mentioned earlier was a Cree, is the XPH35HD. And that is all the technical specs I have written down. I'll just check the owner's manual here real quick to see if there's anything in here. Your warranty is 30 days. You have warranty within 30 days of purchase. You can return to the retailer from which you purchased for repair or replacement. Within 5 years of purchase, you can return to Olight for repair or replacement. The warranty does not cover normal wear and tear, modifications, misuse, negligence, accidents, improper maintenance, or repair by anyone other than an authorized retailer or Olight itself. The battery warranty offers 1-year warranty for all rechargeable batteries. So now, obviously that does not apply to the batteries included in this light because they're not rechargeable batteries. And that is pretty much everything that is I have available for the discussion points. The lockout, which you can initiate a lockout when the flashlight is off. You can press and hold this side switch for 2 seconds, and that will lock out the flashlight. And let's see. Let's see if I put it in lockout mode. Yep, put it in lockout mode. You got to hold it for a few seconds. That locks out the buttons so that you don't accidentally turn the flashlight on. To unlock the mode, you press and hold the switch for less than 1 second, and we take it out of lock mode. And that's pretty much all of the information that's in the user guide that you get. It is there is multiple pages, but they're all different languages. But there's only a couple of pages of information on the particular flashlight. So, in conclusion, I think this is a nice addition to the Olight line of flashlights. This was requested by many Olight owners. They wanted a light that had this type of taillight functionality, and Olight responded to those multitude of requests by building this particular flashlight. So I'm going to give this particular flashlight 2 thumbs up. I think Olight has delivered again a very high quality flashlight that's designed to meet the needs of a specific part of the community, and I believe their price point is also reasonable for this particular flashlight. Olight has also, before I end the video, Olight has been very good at notifying me of when they're having flash sales on their different flashlights, and I've been posting that information to my Facebook and my Twitter sites. So follow me on YouTube, but follow my my Facebook or Twitter feed, and you'll be notified as soon as Olight lets me know of future sales. That way you can jump onto sales that Olight's having and pick up something that you're looking for at a discounted price. So that's going to end this particular video on the Olight M2T Warrior flashlight.